Before we get into today's episode, listeners, I just want to thank our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we couldn't bring you this podcast. So today we have two sponsors, the first of which is Restaurant.com. With Restaurant.com, you can save at thousands of restaurants across the country with just a few clicks. Their dining deals range from $5 to $100. They never expire, and they cost a fraction of the face value. Dinner has never been easier with Restaurant.com, used for dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Restaurant.com is offering our listeners 50% off their next purchase by going to www.restaurant.com/podcast. That's www.restaurant.com/podcast for 50% off your next purchase. Restaurant.com, the best deal every meal. And our second sponsor for this episode is Nightcap, the drink spiking prevention scrunchie. Do you ever feel uncomfortable at a bar with your drink exposed? Are you someone who covers their drink with their hand or their napkin? Now you don't have to. Nightcap is a fun solution to a serious problem. It can be worn as a wristband or a hair tie and taken out to cover up your drink at any time. According to alcohol.org, 56% of women have reported having their drink spiked at some point. It's time to take action with Nightcap. With the holidays coming up, giving Nightcap to a friend or a loved one is the perfect way to show that you care about their safety. Go to nightcapit.com, that's NIGHTCAPIT.com, and enter the code BARTALK, all capital letters with a space in between bar and talk, for 20% off your order, valid until November 31st. And now, let's get into the podcast.
Across the line, the Gulf Stream, I've been in Tampa Bay, around the horn, and home again, 'cause that is the sailor's way.
Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I'm your host, Andy, and I'm joined today by Fish.
Yeah, Lou.
And Hanna, as always.
Hello.
And our good friend Derek from CAIPRS, Cape and Island Paranormal Research.
Hey, Andy, how's it going?
So, Hanna, what are we talking about today?
Wait, who else are we joined by, though?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. We're talking about the other people that are Thank you, Hanna. Sorry, guys.
They're all
sorry.
They're staring at you.
You were just saying how, you're constantly, into that, now I'm a jerk.
Jerk.
So we're also joined by the crew from America's Hometown Horror Podcast. Kat, Andrew, and Mike.
What's up?
What's
going on? Good to be
I
here.
totally didn't forget you guys are here.
That's
honestly.
okay. I had the jitters when I had the jitters when I first started recording too. I was like, old habits.
The read through and
Ad
everything.
read. Okay.
What are you going to do?
So, Hanna, what are we talking about today other than the people who are here?
Well, I mean, I'd love to tell you about it, but there's someone here who could probably do a better job.
Yeah.
Our friend Derek.
Well, we are recording on location today.
Yeah.
We are at the old jail in Barnstable, Mass, in Cape Cod. And Derek, why are we here?
Well, first of all, I got this Facebook message. Let's do a haunted podcast, do a podcast inside the oldest wooden jail in the United States of America. Okay, Andy, let's go. And here we are. We sit inside the oldest wooden jail in the United States of America in 1690. It's alleged, it has activity. And what a better place, to do a live broadcast from a haunted old jail.
And so it's located in Barnstable, but it wasn't initially built on this location.
Not where it sits today. It's about a half mile up from the location west. And the road's still there. It's called Old Jail Lane. You can see it. It was on the properties there in the 1690s, and it was moved over across the street and connected the constable and his wife's home in the 1830s. And that's when they added the front section that we're sitting in doing the broadcast now to connect to the constable and wife's home. And the back of the building is from the 1690s.
And the back of the building is several holding cells.
Yeah, they could hold 32 people here. There's 3 community jail cells at the bottom, holding 10 each. It had a door and a hole, which have been removed, except there's a hole left out of one of the 3 cells. And up top, there are 2, what I call temporary holding cells for hardened criminals waiting for their transportation, either for longer jail sentences or possible trials of execution. They didn't execute anybody here on Cape Cod during trials. For trials, they did that in Plymouth or Boston. You know, you guys being the Plymouth people, you guys got all the good cases. You know, we only got the people that steal apples.
So that was going to be my next question. Like, what kind of people were held here?
Oh, anything from missing church to falling asleep in church. Like, 1715, that's years later. Here's a good case in Boston. 11-year-old boy fell asleep during church. Pulled a girl's hair during the same church service. Then fell asleep again when he's woken up by the pastor or priest. The boy made a face at him.
Oh, yeah,
this
he
boy,
had to go.
This boy, 11, was found guilty of all 3 criminal offenses, and they had hanged him for it. So common things back then were very strict. I mean, you damage a neighbor's wall and you don't repair it or replace it, or a sailor that runs out on his tab, you were held here until you paid your tab, or someone paid it for you, or you paid your time for that crime. And it's stealing vegetables. Food and wheat were a commodity back then. Bakers of bad bread. You got punished for that because you're using the town's supplies.
No, this isn't necessarily to do with like time spent in jail, but like, was there ever any sort of community service payback for things, or were they like, no, you're just in jail and the time is your equivalent to the crime? Or
I don't know. That's not my strong suit. Outside of this building, what crimes and what you had to be retribution. There is a story of the Crocker family here in Barnstable that burned down a barn. They were found guilty of it. They had to rebuild the barn and pay money for restitution. So, and they burnt down the barn to steal the nails out of it because they wanted to finish their barn with the nails. Couldn't go to running down to a local hardware store and just buy nails. You had to wait for them to be ordered from the blacksmith. They weren't going to wait. They burnt down the building to pull all the nails out of the fire. But they were found guilty, and they had to rebuild the barn and pay some money for restitution. So there probably was some community service.
And so now, if Fish was being held here for running out on his tab and falling asleep in church, like what would his life be like here? He said there's 3 cells back there, but it's a very small room.
Yeah. First of all, he'd be here for 200 years because I've seen his bar tab before. So running out on that amount, the price of a house, no, I don't think so back then. So no, here it's a community jail cell, so you'd be put in with 9 other people. And if you think about the rooms, they're about 10 feet by 8 feet. And that's it. And you'd share the location with those 10 people, say in community jail cell. You took turns probably sleeping. You definitely liked it. There was 9 other people with you during the winter because there was no heat source. Heat wasn't added until this building to the 1830s when they moved it and added a wood stove to the building. So you were getting blankets and you slept on the floor. Saltmarsh hay was provided, and go into the bathroom in a bucket, pour the bucket out of the back hole right outside your own cell. You'd be fully dressed. You'd have all your belongings with you except anything that creates a fire. So hence why there's a lot of carvings throughout the building. People are able to grab items. They could even have a knife because they knew if something happened while you're in this jail, your next stop from this position of being held here temporarily was going to be a possible trial execution or a longer jail sentence somewhere else off Cape Cod. So you kind of we're just held here like county jail.
And you said people, so they were there was no ladies' prison, there was no juvenile detention. They
segregated the women. Throughout the history, you can see the segregation throughout the history books. But what I've read on this building is men, women, and children were all put in the same cells together.
Yeah.
And I read that, so I can't say, is it definite? No. Is someone write it in history? Yes, I read it, but I can't tell you if there was. But I know there was segregation between men and women often back then.
And you talked about the carvings in the walls back there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, in 1970, the Plymouth Plantation Preservation Society was brought in. A gentleman named Lou Cataldo was contacted because a woman who owned the property and was her barn or garage found carvings and iron bars connected outside the building. So she contacted Lou Cataldo, town's historian here in Barnstable. He reached out to the Plymouth Plantation Preservation Society. Mm-hmm. They came in and carbonated the building and made casts of the carvings. Now, in the carvings, a lot of them are ships. You know, of course, here on Cape Cod, I bet you a lot of them were people, sailors that worked on ships that ran out of tabs, and that's all they knew. They knew how to carve ships throughout the walls. And there's other drawings and small things, but one of the most prominent ones here in the building is a carving that was covered up in it. And unfortunately, in '72, it caught fire. It was set on fire, and it stayed. You know, they saved it, but the carving that they covered up was covered when the fire broke out, was preserved, and the carving is fascinating, and it reads W. Bartlett, 13th D October, meaning the 13th day of October. Second line says 1698 and 27D he went out. Now it's a gentleman named W. Bartlett held here on the 13th day of October in 1698. Now the 27D, or 27 days later, he was let out. Was he let out 27 days later, 27th day of October, 27, was that his 27th day? We don't know, because in 1840, Barnstable's county house burns down, destroying all historical documents. So we don't know any of the history on that, but it is carved in the wood. It's been carbon dated, it's been casted, it's been plastered, it's been molded. And the funny thing is, my middle name is W, my last name is Bartlett, but I have 2 T's, this one's 1. And they actually, it's right on the wood from 1600s.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's some old wood.
Thanks, Hanna. So, other than Bartlett, are there other people of note that have been held here?
Well, what brought you to my jail, because you reached out to me and were asking about famous people that were held here.
Yeah.
Well, there's a famous sinking of a ship that I know will be brought up in a minute. Yeah. It's called the Witta off Cape Cod. And it is recorded that John Julian and Thomas Davis, that survived the sinking of the Witta, were held temporarily in Barnstable County Jail. At that time, this would be this building. Mm-hmm. There was other jails throughout Cape Cod, but it mentioned Barnstable County Jail. So this would be the building we're sitting in now. John Julian Thomas Davis survived the sinking of the ship called the Witta.
Yeah, he's like passing it over.
Go ahead, you did the research.
Like I had my notes ready.
Oh, you got notes?
Oh, you did?
Oh,
She always has notes.
I try to. So, the Witta, it, like I said, the websites that I found, I was like, these don't have usually the things that I look for. But, it was a pirate ship, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. All right.
By Sam Black Bellamy.
Yeah. And so the story I found most interesting, other than the historical piece of it, right, is the witch.
Oh, Hallett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanna loves witches.
You guys, I do.
She also likes to lie.
I
so
know.
watch
This
out.
one, so this witch almost got me, like my crew did, kind of, where her story gets fuddled with, like, people rewriting it, right? Like,
correct.
So her actual name isn't really known, but there's someone way back that named her Maria Hallett. So, but known as Goody Hallett, and she was from Wellfleet. So she's the witch of Wellfleet. But she fell in love with Black Sam, right? And they were hanging out. She got pregnant, but he had to go out.
They were ye old Netflix and chilling?
Yes.
They were.
Ye
That's
old.
what they would say. And he was like, hey, I have to get out of here. Got to go do pirate stuff. There's some stuff happening in Florida that sounds really cool. So he pieces out while she's pregnant and does really, really well. The Prince of Pirates is what they call him. And it was like the first notable pirate, or one of the most notable pirates for the golden age of piracy. Mm-hmm. And she waits for him every day and, like, is looking out on Wellfleet Cliffs, and, like, everyone ostracizes her because she's pregnant, she's hanging out with a pirate, and now she's, like, on the outskirts of town, so obviously they're gonna say she's a witch. That's just kind of, like, the nature of the time.
Sure, yeah.
And she waits for years. They don't really say. I couldn't figure out what happened to the child, if that, I don't know, occurred or not or whatever, but, when he's coming back, the ship hits stormy waters and sinks, right?
Yeah, she was supposed to allegedly cursed the skies, and
we
the
know
storm
about
came down.
witches cursing boats.
Yep.
It's happened
and
before.
it's
Could happen again. So she was jailed. It says that was jailed here, though. I don't know.
it's news to me.
That's from that website that I was like,
I found
I saw
that.
that too.
Yeah.
But
Curious
if
about that.
yeah.
but if she is, I mean, that's great, because I
Yeah.
will now thank you for giving me that piece of history, because I love finding and undigging and uncovering
Yeah.
history, especially in a building I've been in since 2008. Yeah, I know where she's buried. I've seen her headstone. However, to have her here in the same building is even
Yeah.
better. So we got to find those true evidence of that connection.
Yeah. So, and like I said, there's just different. That's what happens with stuff like this old, right? People make it their own story, and things get kind of confusing. And
Things that are hearsay become fact.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So if any of your listeners know anything about this story,
Yeah.
always you can reach out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Reach out to
Absolutely.
the
always
site
say,
and
yeah.
definitely put your 2 cents in.
So they, I also saw that she haunts the museum of the ship.
The Widow.
Yep,
the
the Widow
Museum.
Yep, and that she haunts what's like the meadow of Satan or something like that.
The Meadow of Satan.
In Wellfleet, right?
Yeah. And it's just like the area with the cliffs. I mean, it's not the meadow of
Isn't that a
Satan.
metal band?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good one.
I can't think of anything less satanic than a meadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is the meadow of death. It's like, it's a meadow, guys. There's a butterfly.
I read that earlier.
Of
Yeah.
Satan.
It's not the meadow of Satan, but something like that, something catchy.
That is catchy.
Yeah, right. No, it's definitely meadow. Let's say it's meadow of Satan. It's fine. This is going to be
Don't
the
Google
moment.
it. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that bit of history that's unknown at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I heard she haunts like several places, but obviously with the lure of her being a witch, she could have very well had that capacity, or at least the thought of capacity to do such things in the afterlife,
To
right? Like,
transcend
Yes.
the grave or whatever.
Now,
she is everywhere in Cape Cod.
That's what I said to Andrew earlier. We had a running joke. I was like, well, how is she haunting this place and P-Town at the same time?
Well,
like,
you
how does she get from one place to the other? Like,
just
what-
like Abraham Lincoln and
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah.
they're all haunting all the locations, you know. Now, the Widow Museum, you know, it used to be originally in Provincetown. They moved it to Yarmouth.
Yeah.
You know, they moved it. Now, did she come with stuff? Because I haven't heard any ghost stories about the new museum being
Right.
haunted. I've heard the dock out there where it used to be was crazy activity. I've heard the stories for the years, and it's just not her, but it's the ghost stories of alleged fishermen that have been lost at sea, people standing at the edge of the shore looking out at sea can be seen, then they vanish, you know, images like that. So I'd be interested. And so if anybody at the Widow Museum wants to contact me, Cape and Islands Paranormal Research Society, feel free.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Andy.
go ahead.
Crap. What was I gonna say? The lady. Oh, so supposedly she died
Mhm.
the day that the ship crashed or whatever crashed. Yeah,
Yeah.
shipwrecked. And it's either to what Derek said that she cursed it, or she was so heartbroken
Yeah.
that she
That's
died.
good.
Yes.
That's a better explanation.
I think like she's not so bitter.
So
she's just
If
like
she was held here, she wasn't held for cursing the ship? I thought that's what you meant at
yeah.
first.
So it would have been before then,
Yeah.
but I mean, she already had rumors that she was a witch.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is really enough back in the day to hold
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what. Strong, independent women.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Derek, you also run haunted tours in the town, not just in the jail cell.
Oh, yeah. Barnstable, Cape Cod's Haunted History Tour Company. Yeah, we do nightly tours here in Barnstable Village, you know, right on Old Kings Highway, named after King George III himself. A lot of historical buildings, like the jail you're sitting in. You know, we got buildings from 1715. You know, we got Old Colonial Courthouse.
Mhm.
One of two Kings courthouses still staying in the United States. The other one is in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Dates it back a couple of years earlier. Only 2 in the country. I have one here in the village, like you guys have up in Plymouth. You know, you go down to the Barnstable House, built in 1716. You know, and it's very historical buildings, and it's a very great walk on a road that's over 400 some odd years old. You know, it's great. The history hasn't changed. Cemetery, you know, and the historical aspect. And like I always say, you can't have a good ghost story without some great history.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what brought this building to life, is the historical aspect. The ghost hunting came in afterwards. It's the history that makes places
Yeah.
best.
I almost forgot. You mentioned briefly that there was a fire. There was 2 fires here, right?
One.
Didn't you say someone broke in and tried to set it on fire a second time?
No, broke in, tried to burn it down in 1972.
Okay.
There was a fire outside on the property the day before, so they kept an eye on this building, and that's when they were able to see the fire actually from the back of the building and set. And across the street at the same time, there's a schoolhouse that was across the street that was set on fire in the same time. So the building had only caught fire once through the history that I know of, because there are photos still here in the building that you can see of its original footage of what it looked like, when before the fire, and then now what we look. And there's articles about the fire, which is up on the walls as well, so you can see and read the history of the building.
Pretty cool.
It is really cool.
Do you have any other history-based questions there, Hannah?
No, I mean, I was super interested about the witch because it's obviously creepy. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was it.
No, I mean, something, Andy, Fish, you guys, we've known each other for years, you know, and you're a meat and potatoes guy and beer. And it's hard for you to like ghosts and hauntings. I know that.
Yeah.
You told me right to my face, you're a joke.
I never called you.
No, not a joke. Okay, the stories I tell are joke.
And if I did say you were a joke, it was not.
However, Andy, would you spend 1 hour inside this building alone in the back?
Sure.
With the lights off. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I definitely
Sounds like a
would
deal.
not.
Okay.
So we can
smell a
just
challenge.
we'll just go
I do.
outside and you can stay in here.
I mean, I have to say, I'm a big horror guy. That would be a tough sell for me.
Yeah.
I would probably do
It's been a long day. I'm not promising I would nod off.
Sleep through it.
Yeah.
Go, I made it. Oh, wait a minute.
I'd have like the EP and it'd
minutes.
just be me snoring.
Thank you, guys.
So where can our listeners go to find out more about CAIPRS and,
Well-
and the haunted tours and whatnot?
Well, our website's being redesigned right now, so our site is down. But it's usually CAIPRS.com, CAIPRS.com. You find us on Facebook, Cape Islands Paranormal Research Society on Facebook, but also Cape Cod's Haunted History Tour Company. Run our tours all the way for the rest of the year until November 15th. And if we have a great year, well, a different year than we had this year, our tours start up back on April 16th, 2021.
So for our listeners, this is a 2-parter. Obviously, that's why we're here with the guys from America's Hometown Horror. So you can go out and check out the first part. I suppose it depends on how you listen to them. Episode where they talk more about the haunting activities specifically in here, where Derek basically creeps us all out. So that is over there, and then I think we're gonna hang out for a bit and see what we can discover and see if we can shake some ghosts out. Apparently, there's some sort of challenge now that I have to go take a nap somewhere. But so keep listening, and we'll include some of the audio from that. And thanks, Derek.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, team.
All right, and that's it. And
Okay, so we're going to take this moment, listeners, to recap. This is, I don't know, what, week later? 2 weeks later? 2 weeks later? I feel like it's 2 weeks.
I don't even, yeah, I have no idea.
Ish.
Fine.
From the events that happened the other night. So this is, I believe we're going to put this between the interview of Derek and whatever we got during our EVP session. EVP session. And so we just wanted to recap a little bit. One of us was a little nervous. I'm not saying which one, Hannah. And so we just want to make sure that we got all the facts out that we wanted to talk about and talk about the
experience of it all.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to know where my head was at going into that.
Well,
that
first
interview.
of all, you guys me and Fish were later than everybody else, and you guys had already done like a little walk through the graveyard.
Yeah, which was really cool and spooky. So let me just, Derek needs very little promoting in my book. I feel like, I mean, definitely because he's awesome, but like he just does such a great job at setting
making it spooky.
And, like, yeah, making like the tone of it all, so that even if you don't believe in that stuff, it's still really like you're getting told ghost stories, so you're gonna feel spooked no matter what, unless you're, I don't know, just don't care about that stuff. But I
Dead
really
Inside.
love
I think we're going with Dead Inside.
Dead Inside, yes. I really love that kind of stuff. I love the season of Halloween. I like getting scared. We found out I'm scared very easily, but I really like it. It still doesn't stop me from doing anything like that because I think it's a really fun experience and like cool to get the perspectives and stories of other people who have experienced things like that, or some people might say think they've experienced things like that, but as far as I'm concerned, they have. And Derek brought us through the graveyard. He kept referring to the gate to it as the devil's doorway, but like until after we got through it, which I was like, you didn't tell us that before we were walking through it. I wish I had known. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, right there in the devil's doorway. I was like, we already are in it. So, okay. Anyway, so then he's telling us about shadowy people in the graveyard, and I don't want to give his whole tour, but just really spooky stuff. And there's particularly 2 headstones that are of 2 little girls. I think they were sisters that we spent some time at, and that's where I felt the most spooked in the graveyard. And then you guys showed up, so we went back to the jail and did our tour there with him.
And he really did such a cool job of, like you said, making it spooky. And he takes you into the back part, and he's like, "Okay, now I'm going to shut the lights off, and it's going to be completely dark." And he just
what? He was like telling us the story. He's like showing us all around the like the cells and what things, kind of saying what things were like back then for the prisoners, and how many people were shoved into each cell, right? And that there was like there's a hole in the back where that's where people would put their
duty. Their duty.
And then the holes, like what it would look like with the door and where they would get food from, and typically, like, right, he said it was co-ed, so females in one cell, male in another. But yeah, it was really, really creepy. The jail had a fire in it probably like 50 years ago at this point, right? But that made it, like, to me, I was like, that was spookier, because you could see some carvings with charred like stuff.
Oh yeah, and everything's black, so it's just it's even darker.
It's wonderfully atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's telling you these spooky stories, telling you about all these ghosts, and then he's like, and now I'm going to shut the lights off for X amount of time, and you guys deal with your own internal turmoil as you wish. Thank you. And
I don't remember the internal turmoil part.
That's what he said out loud. And then and I, being like, because like I said, I really like that. I'm like, yes, this is so much fun. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do my best. I'm way in the back of one of the cells, like by myself. And then he's like, and I'm shutting the lights off. Pitch black. He says you can see in there, but you really can't. And I just somehow my like own, just knowing where my body is, like I moved into the middle of the crowd.
To me, that was the funniest part, was like when he shut the lights off, we were kind of all dispersed, and then he turned the lights back on, and everyone is like 6 inches from him. And he's like, why you guys so close?
Like, I don't think I moved. I just, like, it went off, and Hannah's like behind me, and then the lights came back on, and all of a sudden Hannah's like a foot in front of me, like hunched in on herself.
So
and it's like, oh, hi Hannah, lovely seeing you here.
Not ashamed to say I'm still pretty scared of the dark. As an adult, that's fine. And then also combined with spooky stories. Loved it. Was very scared. Loved every second of it, but was very scared. Derek did a great job. And was so scared that when it came time to do our podcast, I literally was like, I don't even know how to read my notes right now. You want me to do a podcast?
So
I don't know what else to say.
Was there anything that we missed, skipped over, that you wanted to recap?
You know what? Historically, just looking at that area, like, broad picture, it's an old place. The Kings Highway, Route 6, like, every building on there, not every building, obviously things have gotten torn, moved around, like the jail, is old as heck. But I thought it was interesting, like, why the jail was there, like in Barnstable. So when the king was ordered that counties be made in the Plymouth colony area, and specifically when the Plymouth Bay colony conjoined with the Massachusetts Bay Colony, the Puritan Massachusetts Bay Colony. So there were two different colonies. They joined together. This was like late 1600s, but obviously before the jail was built. Then they decided to like create the counties. So there was Plymouth, Bristol, and Barnstable. Obviously there's more counties, but those are the most relevant to us. And when they were deciding which town would be the Shire town of Barnstable County, that one was picked. Barnstable was picked as like the main town where they would have their courthouse and jail, because that's where the governor of Barnstable County lives. They say it's because of location. They were like, yeah, it was just so central.
It's not.
It was because of location. It's the location where the guy lived.
Yeah. Literally, it's like it was central, but also he lived there, so
it's central to his backyard. I don't see a problem here.
Right. So the king, in making those counties, he also ordered the creation of Route 6A, historic Route 6A, through the Cape, and likewise, that's how we come to know the jail that stands today. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they had to update it at some point in the 18th century when they built the stone jail. And that, I think it's kind of fun the way that one got semi-lost to history for a second. Like, things were built onto it, homes were built onto it, and homes initially to be the jail keeper's house,
right,
or quarters. And then they just kind of like forgot it was there after a little while. Like apparently it was in our auxiliary jail in case the other one was too full. And then it was attached to someone's house. And then in the 70s, the lady was like, hey, I think this is the old jail. Like, I just thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
And then the other part that I thought was just really great about the history of it. So when the two colonies merged, the prison need became so crazy because one of the colonies was pure, like from the Puritan belief, so they were very strict.
Yeah. Well, this is what Derek was talking about, like someone falling asleep in church could end up in jail.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
But that's why, it's because of like the two colonies like coming together. So they just were like, I guess we gotta go with what these guys are doing. So literally, like, you'd get put in prison for anything, like jugglers, beggars, fortune tellers.
Well, jugglers, I mean, come on.
Yes.
Shouldn't we be jailing jugglers?
Stubborn servants, like children, just for being children. Just really, like, literally anything. Anything was like grounds to be put in prison. So they like really needed that county jail back in the day. It was used to the fullest extent.
It's just crazy to think that you could be jailed for something so ridiculous and put into such a horrible jail. Like, it's not, I wouldn't say, I mean, it's not torture. It's not like they were putting you on, the stocks or, the Iron Maiden or anything, but it is not a pleasant place to be.
I know. And as someone who has fallen asleep in a church before, that is mighty intimidating.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing that I wanted to reference is the Witch of Wellfleet, which I did bring up to Derek. And I mean, like I said before, records around her are a little bit weird because, in fact, 2 different books have been written with her as a character and not based off of a real person. So really what happened with her is still just for folklore at this point. But the author that wrote the first book was...
Thanks for telling us that ahead of time this time, Hannah.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty important. And without getting too far into her, because I don't want to... It really does clash with the story of like the Wida, which I know we do want to talk about at some point. But the author, Elizabeth Reynard, she named her Maria Hallett in one of her stories. And that was like, looking back, that was in the early 1900s. And she, looking back now, to name a colonial like English person Maria was like, what the hell was that lady thinking? Maria was not like a name ever used in like that
it's
time.
Spanish.
Yeah, especially from the time frame that it happened. So it was like, what? Maria? She just made it up. And someone later on thought she probably meant Mariah, which is a more English version of the name. Also just further from the truth. Her name was Mehedable.
And you wonder why the name was changed?
Okay,
Mehedable.
spell it.
Mehettible.
Mehedable.
That's what she
Mehedable.
said.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know how
Good
I
job,
am with
Hannah.
names. Thank you. So she, in her last name, I think her maiden name was Brown. So at one point she was Mrs. John Hallett. That was found out. I ended up on someone's genealogy page that is kind of related to her, and they hooked up with a Harvard genealogist, Kenneth Kinker, who helped them find this out, that they were actually related to the Witch of Wellfleet, whose name was so far from it what it actually was. So that was her.
So all in all, it was a super fun night.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was awesome.
So I would highly recommend anyone who had the chance, reach out to CAIPRS and take the tour, hang out in the old jail if you can.
I mean, yeah, if you have an issue with the dark, I'm not going to highly suggest it, but take a chance.
Sure. And I mean, it's not like some old creepy ghost isn't going to sniff your hair or anything.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. I'm pretty sure that moved me 3 feet. Without even thinking about it, just taking steps in the dark. I'm like, yeah, I need to get out of where I am. It was really fun. He definitely does a great job at making it what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it highly suggested for sure.
So I think now we're going to cut to our EVP sessions and probably a walk through the graveyard.
Or at least clips thereof, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so also, I've never gone paranormal investigating or ghost hunting before. I cannot say I was the best at asking questions.
I don't know if fishes either.
As someone who has watched all of Ghost Hunters, I think I have a very good feel for what you're supposed to do.
And
then I decided it was stupid and said, I'm going to be fairly impolite to ghosts.
I just didn't even know where to begin because everyone else was like, is there someone here? Do you like us being here? And I literally was like, what's your favorite color?
You don't know. No. Look, if I'm a ghost and I'm pale.
Have you guys binge watched Tiger King?
Yeah, I was like, do you like this season?
Do you get Netflix in the afterlife?
I can't wait to hear Hannah's parts.
Oh my gosh. And then I totally forgot we were recording, so maybe don't put all of it on there. I was just blah, 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 talking about the most random stuff. So, and not doing any ghost hunting, walking around, but probably not as concentrated as I should have been. I'm not the best ghost hunter, so it's fine. It's not my calling.
So, listeners, we have the file Dropbox to us from that. We have not listened to it, so we don't know what's on it. So you're going to be hearing it for the first time. I'll probably be hearing it the first time when this gets posted as well, because I haven't listened to it. And I think that's it. I think we're just going to go to that now. And this is the part where we go ghost hunting.
So we are recording live. And this is Andrew and Mike from America's Hometown, along with Hanna from
Quality Cast.
Hello. Everybody, hello again. We are leaving the old jail, or
trying to not get hit by cars.
Old Gaol. What was it? Gaol.
Gaol.
Gaol. The old Gaol. And we're going over to the cemetery. What's the name of this one? We know the name of the cemetery?
I don't. I probably should ask that.
What was he calling
It's the cemetery at the Unitarian Church of Barnstable. I don't know if it has another name. It probably does.
What was he calling, like, the entrance?
Well, the exit was
Door, Hell's Gate.
Hell's Door, and then the Devil's Gate.
Something, yeah.
Was that the exit, essentially? Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
You think we would know these things, but we don't.
Guys, get your proton packs, ghost traps, everything.
Oh, yeah.
The whole nine. So, Andrew, what are you hoping to experience out here?
Something.
Something.
I'm not asking for much.
Just not nothing.
Just no shadow people. I would prefer.
The shadow people part freaks me
Yeah,
out.
I don't.
Yeah.
I would prefer them to keep their distance or just not even look at me.
I'd be perfectly okay with some, like,
Maybe like a little girl.
Voices coming back after.
Yeah.
Like, and not hearing them in the moment. That would be ideal.
That would be perfect. I would prefer also not to trip on any small headstones. That would be a plus. Or on that. That would be.
Yep.
We'll just go in right here.
Do we want to try
I think we should go back over to the
3 trees?
The 3 trees, because that was a little creepy when we went over there earlier.
It was a little creepy. I thought the Davis family plot was creepy. And then when I visited the 2 girls the last time.
Yep. Oh, at the end?
Yes. I got very creeped out walking away.
Careful. It's those tiny little headstones that certainly don't want anybody to trip and then join the dead here in this creepy place. I want one of these when I go, though.
Just everyone to know that it's Andrew there.
And those are just crickets that you're hearing in the background. That's
lots of crickets.
And cars. So this was the Nile? Is this the Nye plot? Or the Nile? We could see the headstones.
So much information out of so quickly. I was just like, my head was spinning.
A lot to take in.
Yeah.
Maybe they're on the other side. Nye.
Yeah.
N-Y-E.
Like the science guy.
I was just gonna say.
I wonder where Bill is. Oh, Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Oh, Billy.
Are you here, Bill?
Oh, if there's any
Toy boat of science.
spirits here, feel free to make your presence known. Or not. I'd prefer you didn't. Just, you can talk into this thing.
Yeah. That's the move. Let us know after.
Are you okay with us hanging out by your gravestones?
Would you prefer us not to be standing on your final resting place? You can move back a few feet if that makes you more comfortable. Don't want to intrude.
What else should we ask him?
How did you die? Do you have a name?
Do you enjoy science?
I know, all I can. I'm like, what's your favorite color? Do you like it here?
Want to try somewhere else?
Yeah. Where was, I mean, it's a cemetery, so it's all creepy. You know, I don't really get the vibes at this one, though, as much as Plymouth.
Yeah.
That one, very
yeah.
Yeah, that's very creepy. I feel very...
I've gone there more times than I've like spent working in my whole life. Like I'm like I've slept there before.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean,
how was that?
A bad kid. I did things there. Oh, it was fine. But like it's like a weird peacefulness to it. But I have gone in there with a Ouija board before.
Shine that back up on that. Did you? I don't know. It's probably just a reflection.
We should go over those pinwheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Ouija board, not a good idea.
Yeah.
That was the only time I've ever
Andrew had
felt great there.
Andrew and his roommate, our buddy Craig, had an experience with a Ouija board.
I had nothing to do with the Ouija board. Craig played with it with his ex-girlfriend, and he brought that all upon himself. But I experienced.
You know what? Do you know Smitty?
No. What's Smitty? Is it
Sarah
New World
Smith?
Cabin. Sarah Smith.
Bartender. She used to bartend at New World.
No. She manages a lobster trap now. She's been around for that's her.
Pinwheels right here, right? Yep, here we are. Sarah, right? No.
Sarah and
Lucy.
Lucy. Oh.
All right, so we're at Sarah and Lucy's gravestones here, and they have pinwheels in front of them that apparently, if you ask them to make them spin, they occasionally will. Lucy, would you like to spin the pinwheel for us?
Whoa.
What just happened?
That moved.
What moved?
Oh, it is moving.
Oh.
Can you spin it again?
Lucy, do you mind moving the pinwheel again for us?
I think it might have been Sarah. It was over Sarah.
Or was it Sarah?
I saw this one.
Sarah, we're not ignoring you. We would enjoy it if you moved it as well. Did someone? You hear that? Kind of freaked. I think it was. I mean, the street's right there, so maybe it was just someone coughing. Kind of freaked me out.
Could you please move the pinwheel?
Also, probably important to note that there's no wind right now. It is
Zero
pretty
wind.
calm. That one on the left moved.
That's what.
Did it? I was looking at the other one. That's the problem. I should be looking at both. Lucy, do you want to move your pinwheel for us? Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be much. If not, you might be sleeping. It's cool.
You'd give us some sign of your presence. We'd just like to know if you're here.
Of course I didn't see the pinwheel move. I mean...
I saw that.
It's so annoying.
Oh, it's in. The wind did pick up a little bit.
Oh, yep.
Yep, okay.
Oh, but it is still...
Nothing's really moving around it, though. As far as grass and...
There are no strings attached, I can confirm. Come on, Sarah. Or Lucy. Oh. That's moving. Sarah, you're doing some work there. Why don't you make it spin, like, noticeably? So that we can, alleviate any questions we have. Huh? Maybe? You know you can do it. Come on. Oh, you're trying so hard. Come on, do it. You got it. You got it. You're doing it. Give it a one big... Something over there?
I think it's just the noise of like the crickets kind of like
Yeah.
reverberating through the stones or something.
All right. Well, maybe we should let you two rest, huh? If you want us to leave you alone, give it one good spin and we'll leave.
Okay.
I'll take that as a you'd like us to leave.
I think that's a sign.
Moving on up. Little girl scaring me. What's that? Is that what's this? He's shining the flash. Oh, that's a thing over there. Okay. Now I'm starting to just deep breaths.
So when I was walking away before, right? I was like,
Looking at it and you
peace out, and I couldn't see anything for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it, like, I thought it looked like not a headstone shape, but something was like next
Over
to
there.
the bigger ones,
Oh, lovely. That's unsettling.
like a shadowy type of thing. That was like when you're here.
Let's go back over here.
That's something I'm shining my flashlight on right there. From
Yep.
far away, does that not look like a Grim Reaper?
On it.
Oh my god! It does, but with the lichen around it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, like
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
yeah.
See the white face?
Yeah, and he looks like that's really.
I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I did a double take for a second.
All right, let's go say bye one more time to our friends over here. Because I don't think you really want us to leave. Lucy, Sarah. We're back. Not here to bother. What are you guys doing? Okay, if we stay here for a little bit, give it a spin if you want us to stay. We'll keep you company for a while.
I just saw it like moving a little bit too. Yeah, look.
Is there like wind coming in from?
Yeah, I know. Well, I do see like the little grass around it moving.
Do you think if I took it out and changed how it was put in, that would be?
Yeah, because now I'm thinking like if airflow's coming that way.
I think it's
not
okay to
this
touch
way.
it. All right, Sarah. Let's see what you got. Give him a spin for us, if you don't mind. Just a little something. And then we'll leave you alone. One good spin and we'll leave. Trust me, we'll leave. Where'd Mike go? Oh, he's right there. Okay, I was like, I hope that's Mike. Otherwise, that's a big scary shadow. Have at you. This area over here was a little creepy too, because they had like any of these like lots or plots.
Used to, like the previous owners used to not even be able to get near it. Cameras off the road, like gated driveway.
You guys hear that?
Yeah, I did. It's like scratching on the tree.
Yeah, I don't know if it was it's not that windy, so.
Of course I was talking during the whole thing.
That's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
It sounded like a branch or something. Oh, that's just my shadow. Okay, continue walking. What's that? It's my own shadow.
Yeah,
It could be a
skunk,
it could be a skunk. Let's not go over there.
There's a skunk over there.
Yeah, I do not want to get sprayed by a skunk. All right. That's what that noise probably was. Let's get the hell out of here. There's skunks.
It's like somebody lighting one up. Oh, nope, it's a skunk.
Nope.
Okay.
The ghosts won't scare me off. The skunks, yes. Yeah, that's probably what that was. Hey, what's that? It's a skunk. Oh, God.
You hear that noise?
Smells worse over here, though. I don't even know where it's coming from now. I wonder if I got hit by a car.
Maybe. I feel like it's getting stronger.
Yeah.
He can hear us? I guess they can hear us from over there.
What's weird? They probably heard us go, oh, there's a skunk.
Wait,
Run.
unless he can't and he thinks he can. Because he's hearing something else.
There's no way they could have hit her.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
It's not
they're-
like we're over there screaming.
Maybe it's my spirit. Ugh. Yeah, I think a skunk got hit by a car, actually. Because that is offensive.
That's probably more accurate.
Yep, it definitely wasn't. That was a good reason. That was a good reason for us to leave, though, because.
Oh, cat's all done. She's outside.
Yeah, I wonder if she. Oh, what's this? Oh, not coming up this way. Good. That will conclude this recording session.
Be quiet for a second. I just want to see it
Yeah,
react
there's
to
levels.
footsteps.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I say we just let it run.
Okay.
Alright, so this is Inebri-art, Andy, Fish, and oh good god.
America's hometown.
You're not gonna remember
Cat.
my name?
Cat. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, you forgot someone's name?
We've known each other for almost an hour and a half.
I've heard about you for so long though. Like, I'm just a little bit offended. It's okay. I'll get you.
Well,
it's okay.
you know, the problem is Andy doesn't spend nearly as much time talking about Cat as he does me.
There. That's
Yeah.
probably valid.
It would be
not creepy.
It would be incredibly weird otherwise.
So we're just sitting in the dark.
Do we want to do some EVP things? What we're supposed to be like?
Call and response?
Yeah, is there anyone here? Please come out and make yourself noticed. Oh, I can't remember the names that he said.
That's okay, they should know their own names.
There was like a boy
Alright.
and a woman. If you guys can hear us, please come out and make yourself noticed. If you're here, can you tell us your name?
If you're not here, can you tell us your name?
There's a device on the floor with some flashing lights. If you talk into that, we should be able to hear you.
Do you see anything? I'm not looking around because I'm nervous.
Oh, I was actually watching the microphone because like when you speak, you can see how like the lights go up. So I was looking to see if it moved at all.
Okay.
And I'm facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Intentionally.
So we can all say we're pretty scared.
Not scared, just
Nervous?
I figure if anything's gonna come and it's gonna come in and sneak up on me. See if it'll do what it did Derek and like grab my sweatshirt.
I got you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lean forward a little, kind of.
I can see the red light on the wall, the one they talked about getting blocked out sometimes. And I can see a little bit of the loft area, but I don't see anything.
No.
If there's anyone here, why are you being held in the jail?
And if you don't have to be here, why are you? There've got to be more fun places to haunt than an empty building most of the time. Like, go haunt a Wendy's.
Wendy's.
What? The Burger King in my town is supposed to be haunted.
I love Fish's sarcastic ghost hunting.
Look, I'm trying to bring something new to the table, Andy.
Do you like JBCs?
JBCs?
Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
Oh. I'm like, what the hell is that?
You didn't call them JBCs?
No, I've never even heard that before.
Really?
I'm more of a spicy nugget guy.
Which is crazy because I love JBCs. I wonder if there's more reports of shadows now that they've installed the new windows. Like how much that falls into it.
Oh, it's tough to see shadows without there being light for them to block.
Right, but I mean, there is light coming in from outside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of it is from the windows. It's You don't really get anything like when you're in the back, there's nothing.
Well, that's true. Was that then?
Already?
That
It's only
seems
been
super quick.
5 minutes.
They got scared and ran away.
My phone goes off a lot. And now I'm blind.
Wow, way to humble brag, Andy.
What? That I'm blind? It's not really
No, you get a lot of phone calls.
Yeah.
Popular
It's like
guy.
my phone goes off a lot.
It does.
People
Phone
need to
goes
talk
off
to
a
me.
lot. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of.
If you were held here, how long were you held here? What are the other ghosty questions that people ask?
Did you die here?
Oh, see, that's a good one.
And by here, do you mean the jail or the property?
I meant to ask Derek that question.
What?
If anyone died here.
Yeah.
I know people are
I
held
would
here.
just assume in such horrible conditions.
The basement was full of bones. I mean, something died here.
Derek thought he saw someone standing outside earlier tonight. Was that you? That wasn't directed to you, Fish.
And that was why I didn't answer.
I just figured you would. You're very pedantic.
I was fighting an urge, okay? Trying to grow as a person.
Were you held in the cells upstairs in the loft or in the common cells in the back? I now see how he thinks that beeping is irritating.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you find it annoying that people keep coming in and asking you inane questions? I swear to God, if we get any answer, it's going to be to that.
Oh, what did they ask earlier? Are we bothering you? Does it bother you that we're here? If we went to Wendy's, do you want us to bring us back at JBC?
JBC.
How come I didn't get the letters right? Seems
Junior
so
bacon
easy.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I get no lettuce and tomato, and then on the screen it says mayo only, and Mike's always like, ew.
You can't have tomato. Tomatoes are nasty. Do you like tomatoes?
Does the alarm beeping annoy you too?
Oh my god, can you imagine being a ghost in here? Stuck in here? Just
Yeah.
listen to that?
You mean forever?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think I'd stay here. I think I'd leave.
Like, I think I'd be haunting a Wendy's.
Can you leave? Are you not able to leave this place?
Did you get dragged along when they moved the jail? Twice?
That's weird.
Oh, that's gotta be a super weird moment. Like you're haunting a place, and then the place moves, and you're just kind of like towed along with it.
If you look at the device on the floor when we speak, more lights light up. Can you make lights light up? That was weird.
That was fish.
That was me.
Oh.
Sorry, that was me moving.
No, but did you?
Yeah. That's
Can you
fish.
move your chair the same way again?
Because it's on the floor, so
It picks up the vibrations.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you just do it again? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It was more that it like jumped right to the red. I was just like, oh, that's weird.
Ask again though.
The device on the floor. Can you speak into it and make the lights light up? We want to hear from you. If you can talk into the microphone on the floor, we should be able to. Did we ask what their name was?
I think that was
Yeah.
the first question.
Okay.
Right after we said, "Oh, he told us," and we can't remember.
Oh, that's true.
Don't be offended and can't remember anyone's name.
It's not historical people, it's just everybody. Although I did remember cats and fish.
It's okay. It's
I
Oh, If you're a ghost and you have no legs, how did you lose your legs?
And why didn't you get them back when you died?
Excellent question.
Like, I am assuming at one point you had legs and lost them and weren't like
born without
born
them?
that way. But I assume when you died. The legs also dead and would have caught up.
You don't have to patronize them finishing me.
I kind of do. That's kind of my shtick. I think patronizing asshole ghost hunter is kind of where I'm going to be for a while.
I suppose it's a good way to get touched.
I'm lonely too. It's fine.
Are you the ghost that smells people's hair?
I just want the line to move on the computer.
You just saw
I'm
the
like,
line move?
no, I want it to move.
Oh, I thought you just
I'm
said you saw
I
it
just
move.
want it
Yeah.
to move. I wanted
like,
something
come on,
to
do
happen.
something.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
What?
For a second, I was like, are you kidding? Can you walk across the loft area so we can see you?
Do you think the beeping is actually answering us instead of the ghosts? The beep's like, one beep for no.
Yeah.
No.
Are we being haunted by a
That's
security
crazy.
alarm?
The alarm system.
Can you make the security system beep twice? That's big negatory.
That would have been really cool.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. And you're waiting for that second beep.
That's more than you're like, do you know how to shut the security system off?
Do you know the passcode?
What year do you think it is?
How many fingers am I holding up?
2. Did I get it right?
No. Andy, I wasn't asking you.
No, I just wanted to just check and see if I was psychic.
Now how many fingers am I holding up, Andy?
Probably just 1.
Yep.
Were you listening earlier while we were talking and recording our show? Will you please like, comment, and subscribe?
You only have 45 minutes left in the dark, really. And you're 1 hour
Oh, I think the idea was that I was alone.
alone, right? We're kind of alone.
We're not here.
Oh, okay. You're just
Oh.
my hallucinations.
I'm your imaginary friend.
I gotta say, just sitting here and not even hearing anything makes me way more comfortable about doing that.
Hmm.
If I sat in here alone by myself, would you come forward then?
You want to give it a whirl?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah?
All right, we can step outside.
I'll step outside.
All right, yeah, Kat and I are stepping outside.
Isn't that breaking the golden rule Derek said not to break?
Oh, don't be alone?
Yeah, but he's also the one who told you to be alone.
That's also true.
Well, we
So,
can watch you from
Do
that
you want to be
window
back? Are
right
you going to be
there.
back there?
No, don't go in there by yourself.
I was gonna sit here so I can see the computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just stay here.
Okay.
And we'll watch you from the window, right there. Okay.
Can you not shine the light at me?
That's my thing.
From the drinks. Close the door.
Okay. Is there anyone here? Check. Can you come forward and speak into the microphone? Do you want us to leave? Why were you imprisoned here? Do you know who Derek is? Can you speak into the device on the floor, please? Does it bother you that people come in here to look around and tour this building? If you want me to leave, speak into the microphone. We brought in a bunch of boxes. Do you know what's in those boxes? How did you sleep when you were here? Did you have to do it taking turns? Can you hear my friends talking outside? I can. Were you a sailor? Can you please come forward and make yourself known? Did you do any of the carvings in the wall? Can you go across the street to the graveyard? Can you block the red light on the security light? Did you do something to the security light?
So I asked if it could block the security light. It distinctly got brighter, but didn't block it. Can you make the security light brighter? The red security light, can you make it brighter? If there's someone here, can you please make the security light glow brighter? If someone is here, can you please block the red security light on the wall? Hanna, is that your buddy?
It's me.
You missed all the excitement.
Was there something that happened?
No.
Oh.
I asked if someone could block the red security light on the wall,
Yeah.
and it glowed brighter,
Huh.
but that's about it. I've asked repeatedly for them to make it glow brighter, and nothing happened. So.
Can you make the alarm stop beeping?
Oh, we already tried that. That was like minute 5. The ghosts who are here, Hanna is here.
Hello?
Please don't sniff her hair, she doesn't like that.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
So Derek said, like, this time of night, usually the most activity is kind of like in this in-between part.
Yeah.
So we have the microphone on the floor.
Gotcha.
Do you guys get anything over there?
No, it was like weird. Their pinwheel started to move a little bit, but I was like, I don't know. There's like this blade of grass that's also moving. We could chalk it up to wind, maybe.
Yeah.
The first time
it pinwheel moving outside is kind of like what it's
But
supposed
it
to
just
do.
nudged a little at first with nothing else happening, and we
Yeah.
were like, whoa, right after we were asked it to move. Not the pinwheel, asked the alleged entity to move it.
Yeah, we're sitting in here for a while, and I'm like, the longer I sit here, the more comfortable I am just sitting here. And they're like, do you want to do it by yourself? I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
And then we just walked around a lot. It's definitely like creepy vibes.
Yeah.
But and then
graveyard and nighttime.
Yeah, and then we thought we heard something when we walked over, and it was definitely a skunk that had just sprayed or got hit by a car. We were like, ugh.
Nasty.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. You can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or on Instagram at Inebri-art6. You can email us at Inebri-art@yahoo.com. And make sure you listen to the other podcasts on the Inebri-art Podcast Network, including Bar Talk, Old Colony Cast, Retro Redoctopus, America's Hometown Horror Podcast, and our newest one, Theme Park Legends, a podcast about working at theme parks. What else? And we'll catch you again next time.